Have you ever said, I'm just focusing on myself right now, where you put all your energy, all your time, all your effort into working on yourself and focusing on developing yourself? But if you're not careful, this self development and intense periods when you're focusing on yourself can be a way how you can avoid letting others see the real you. In this video, I want to talk about something that I don't really see called out too much, and it took me a while to learn it myself and maybe notice some patterns or get some realizations, which is that sometimes you can use self development as a way to avoid people. And I'm not saying that working on yourself is bad. I'm constantly working on myself, developing myself, but you have to be mindful not to get to the point where now you're isolating yourself. Or maybe using self development as a coping mechanism to avoid seeing people. So, in this video, I'll be sharing a couple of lessons that I have learned from going through these periods of working on myself and telling that I just want to focus on myself while also using that to keep myself safe and not to let people in my life. First of all, having that mindset is something that is quite acceptable. Like if you said that, well, I'm just avoiding people, like it's not something that people would support or maybe accept, or at the very least, there might be some conversation brought up about it. But when you say that right now I'm just focused on myself, it seems acceptable. It seems normal that, yeah, like you're just focused on yourself. You're just wanting to work on your development and you want to put some extra time and energy into yourself. And it might even be seen as, wow, that person is so disciplined. They're so consistent with working on themselves, developing themselves, and committed to becoming their best version. But you can end up literally isolating yourself for months, if not longer, and convince yourself and others that that's healthy, but it's not. The other thing that comes with this, and I have talked about it in other videos, is that I noticed that what I would do is I would work so much on myself, mainly because I was trying to avoid being seen as I am, not the optimized, perfect, developed version of me, the still work in progress version of me. It's kind of like I want people to see only the healed version of me. I don't want them to see what's underneath. And there's this assumption that I can get to this moment when I actually gonna be fully healed, fully developed, but that moment never really comes because there's always more to develop. There's always more to heal. There's always more triggers. So you can end up literally postponing letting other people see you or see the version of you that you might not want them to see for a very, very long time. And the irony is that those parts of you that you don't like or you don't want to be seen or that are still work in progress, those are actually the ones that people connect with the most or that create the most connection with others. It's kind of like connection lives in parts of us that we're trying to hide. And if we actually show them, that's when the true connection would actually happen. I think also with all this, it's like you're waiting to reach this moment when you will feel ready enough to be vulnerable, or you might feel safe enough to open up. But the reality is that it it doesn't feel good. I literally talked about it in one of the recent podcast recordings. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be vulnerable, to show some realness, some rawness that you might not want to show to others or want others to see, or you might have this fear of being judged or made fun of or not be accepted. But there's no way you can prepare for it. The only way you can get better at it is by doing more of it. And as much as I wish it wasn't the truth, that's just the way it is. And I think when it comes to being more vulnerable, I want you to keep in mind that you feeling slightly exposed or slightly scared or kind of even sometimes a bit embarrassed or triggered when you are trying to open up, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It's completely normal. It's normal way to feel. There's nothing wrong with you. That's vulnerability. That's rawness. That's realness. That's the real sensation of really opening yourself up and letting somebody in. And it's not something to get rid of. Just know that you can still feel that crappy feeling and choose to take one step closer to others or let others come one step closer to you. And connection has never been about two over optimized and perfect people coming together. It's about letting the other person see the version of you that is real, raw, unfiltered, still work in progress. And nothing feels better than being fully seen. And there's no way you can get to that feeling without showing the full you. And all of this was very hard for me to learn. Like, I grew up being the strong friend. That's what I learned. I have to be strong. If I have any problems, I have to resolve them by myself. I need to show up and be there for others. Like, my problems, they don't matter. I need to just always be ready to support others. And if I would share some of the my challenges, my problems, I felt for the most part like I was being weak, like I was being exposed, like something was wrong with me if I can't handle my own shit. And it took me a very, very, like, so many reps of here and there trying to open up. Sometimes I would get hurt, or the response from the other person might not make me feel good, might make me actually feel worse. And just going through enough of those experiences where with time you start to embrace that vulnerability. And also you need to be careful who you are vulnerable with. It's not like you now have to go and share your most vulnerable parts with every single person, or you share everything all at once with the person. You slowly do that with practice, and with time you build more trust with the other person, and it goes vice versa as well. They do the same thing with you, where you just feel more and more safe to share and to open up. And it doesn't have to be this huge thing that you're doing where you overcome and you face and you force being vulnerable. It's something that takes practice, and you just need to be patient with yourself. And you will have times when you might get burnt. You might have times when the other person might hurt you. And the only thing that I can say with that is don't allow those experiences to stop you from trying. Because once you experience real connection, it's very, very powerful, and it's something that I wish more people had that experience, and they gave themselves a chance to actually open up and let other people in their lives. I'm not saying that self development is not good. I'm not saying that now you have to completely stop that. You have to go and share your most vulnerable pieces of yourself with others. What I'm saying is be mindful of what you do when you have those periods when you are focusing just on yourself, and what's the reason behind it. Sometimes you genuinely go through seasons when you know that, yeah, like this season I need to focus on myself. I need to focus on this specific area to improve and work on. And I have had those periods, and that's okay to have those, but also be mindful if it's actually true, or you're using that as a way to distract yourself from maybe facing something bigger or addressing some of the fears, or literally just using it as some kind of avoidance mechanism. And let me know in comments, what is one part of you that you're constantly working on to avoid others to see it?